Good evening and welcome to This Week in Sports for Wednesday, November 23rd, 2015. I'm Mike McChicken, apparently, alongside Evan Olawani and Tyler Dobransky. I think Evan wrote that.
My bad.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, we're going to introduce something a little bit new called Who Should We Start? So we're going to go to the NFL teams, take a look at quarterback situations, and make our pick for who we're going to put in. So we're going to start with the Broncos. Who wants to start?
I'll start with that. Peyton Manning, we saw him this year. He started off the year, 6-0, 7-0? 7-0. And then, they lost a couple games, and he was been fatigued. But Brock Osweiler, he came in and did a great job. So right now, I think you can't say no to Peyton Manning, so I think you have to start him when he's healthy. But I think for the future of this team, I think Brock Osweiler is a very good choice. But I think for the rest of the season, you don't have a choice but starting Manning.
I have to agree. I think Brock Osweiler is the right decision to start because Peyton Manning, the defense, I feel like has carried the Broncos a lot. Peyton Manning has done a poor decision. He has like 12 picks this year. Hasn't been the same Peyton Manning. Yes, he's Peyton Manning, but he's not the old Peyton Manning where he threw for record numbers. He's getting old. His foot injury's hacking up, and I think Brock Osweiler is the right start.
Tyler's just the stat guy, and I love it. Just the 12 interceptions, everything just Tyler. It's all stats.
You need stats, it's from me.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think you got to go with Manning. I think when he gets back and when he's healthy, he's still going to be a great quarterback. He's still Peyton Manning. I mean, he's getting old, yeah, but I don't know. He's still got it up top. And, I think once he's back and he's got his full receivers at their full strength, I think he's going to be just fine.
Wait, so you're saying he didn't have his receivers at his full
He
strength?
did, no, but he was a little bit beat up. I think when he gets back from his injury and when he's finally fully healthy.
Tyler's just dropping some heat.
All right,
I
Tyler,
love it.
this is from last week.
Yeah,
They
this
get back
is
from last week. All right, what's your point?
You said they weren't at their full strength, and he still had Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders.
Well, I'm saying right now they're not, but I think as he gets...
He got Vernon Davis from the San Francisco.
And actually, Brock Osweiler actually used him, except
Yeah,
Peyton Manning, so that was a good thing.
Well, Peyton's injured right now. I think I'm not
Osweiler-
saying Brock Osweiler's not a good quarterback. I'm just saying Peyton Manning is still Peyton Manning, and you got to start him as long as you can.
Okay. That you can think.
Wow, there's just a lot of attitude right now. I just gave you like a nice compliment with the whole stat thing, and you just...
Well, on to the Rams now.
Okay, you just take my job. That's fine.
We have Nick Foles and
Case Keenum.
You want to start with that, Tyler?
I think Nick Foles. I think Case Keenum. He threw for like 76 yards total last game against the Ravens, who have been terrible.
He threw 125, but who's counting?
All right.
Tyler's the stat guy. Don't disagree.
He went 13 for 26. I'm going to toss it. 12
okay.
for 36, actually.
Okay, now he's the stat guy. But anyway, he didn't do as well as Nick Foles, I think, can do. I know Nick Foles isn't the greatest either, but I feel like Nick Foles is a better quarterback than Case Keenum against the Ravens, who are not that good. They were like 1-6. Well, now 2-6 because they won. But they're not that good. I think he should have done a lot better, and I think Nick Foles should have started.
How are they 2-6 in week 11?
Oh, well, I'm
It's
just
okay.
messing
It's
up
okay.
right now.
I think they probably shouldn't have put in Keenum, but it's too late now because you can't be the Texans where you're just going to jump back and forth and back and forth. I think now you got to keep him in. But I don't really think Foles deserved to be benched. He wasn't doing that great, but they're not a team that really loves to throw the balls. They haven't given him that many opportunities. They're kind of a run and play defense. I don't know. I mean, Foles wasn't having a stellar season by any means, but I think you traded for him. You got to give him a chance to finish out the year.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Yeah, I think Nick Foles, even though he's not amazing, he's not a superstar, he gets the job done somewhat of the time. I don't think Case Keenum can do that at all. Last game, we saw him in the last drive of the game. He went back, fumbled the ball, and at the last second, Ravens scored a field goal to win the game. So that's not clutch at all. That's just losing the game for your team. They only put up 14 points. I'm not impressed. I definitely think Nick Foles should be the starter there.
So how about your team with the Eagles?
Eagles, we saw Mark Sanchez this week, and he overthrew about 10 receivers. He had a whole week to work with them too, so that kind of scares me. So honestly, you traded for Bradford. It's hard to just say, okay, Mark Sanchez, you're now the starter. But after that week, I think you got to go with Bradford and stay with him when he's healthy. Because honestly, I think Bradford's making good throws. It's just that his receivers aren't getting open. I really do think that.
And they've had a lot of drops as well.
Yes.
In their defense.
Yeah, I think Bradford is a better Mark Sanchez. I watched that game against Tampa Bay. It was atrocious by the Eagles.
The Eagles' defense lost that game for them, though. I don't want to put anything too much on Mark Sanchez. Except
We're not talking about the Eagles right now.
We're talking about Mark Sanchez. Okay.
And the Eagles.
We're not talking about their defense, though.
I'm just saying.
Tyler, go on.
Okay,
Wow.
Anyway, I think Sam Bradford, like you said, they traded for him. I think they should give Sam Bradford the opportunity to prove himself. I know it's been like halfway through the year, more than halfway through the year, but I think Sam Bradford should get the start.
I would have to agree with Bradford, but not by a huge margin. I mean, if Sanchez is able to play during his absence and play a little bit better, then give him a try. But no, you're splitting hairs right now between two guys that are just average. That's just the nicest way to say it.
I think Bradford is definitely a lot more potential than Sanchez.
More potential, yes, but what's actually transpired, maybe not so much. So on to the Browns now.
Johnny Manziel. That's all I gotta say.
Wow.
Johnny Manziel. I think he's been doing better as the season progressed and he's getting more time. Didn't Josh McCown say he's out for the year? Didn't he say he's going to get a surgery or something? So Johnny Manziel, they named him the starter for the rest of the season, which I think is a good call. The Browns this season's kind of in the toilet right now. I mean, they're not that good, but hey, they could always improve and get ready for next year, I guess.
Josh Brown, or not, excuse me.
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown, excuse me. He was making a lot of good throws. He was putting up a lot of passing yards, but their defense really played pretty bad. And he scored a good amount of points. He almost beat the Broncos, a couple other good teams. I was a little surprised, but he got injured, and now I think that kind of led way to just, okay, the season's already over, put Johnny Manziel in. But I'm a big fan of Josh McCown. I definitely think honestly, I think he's better than Johnny Manziel.
I think so too, but I think putting in Johnny Manziel is the greatest thing that could have happened because he's the guy for the future. So you get him ready for the next coming season, and they tank and they lose as many games as possible. They get a nice draft pick. They're in line for the number 1 pick right now.
Leonard Fournette.
Absolutely, could be. So leave in Manziel, lose a little bit, and get him ready in the process is kind of a win-win for them because this season's down the toilet as it is anyway.
I would agree. And just real quick, I forgot to put a little thing on the prompter talking about the NFL recap. So you want to go to that real quick? I want to apologize.
Superman, Cam Newton, 5 touchdowns against the. I'm kind of blanking out. Redskins, yeah. Panthers dominated the Redskins. So did Jameis against the Eagles. 5 touchdowns.
I was actually going to bring that up because he's the one that impressed me more than anybody. The Buccaneers and that offense overall. I'm sorry to trash on the Eagles right now, but 5 touchdowns.
They deserve
Doug
it.
Martin at like 230 rush yards.
240,
Crazy.
but very close.
That's crazy. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
He had 2 runs, 180, 170. That really gave way to all your rushing yards. But the Eagles' defense, I just said that. It was garbage.
You know who had another good game as a running back? Thomas Rawls from the Seattle
Yeah,
Seahawks.
he did.
He had 239 total yards, 202 rushing yards. Yes, I know that. I checked. Don't worry.
Okay.
And I think he did really good. I mean, he's no Marshawn Lynch, but I think he's doing pretty good.
I mean, this
as
season,
replacement.
as bad as Marshawn Lynch has been, he's been the better running back. I mean, I'm not saying we got a controversy up in Seattle,
no.
but I mean, maybe a little bit of a timeshare could be coming up because he's just been so
Yeah,
impressive.
like, what if you put Lynch as the third down back and the goal line back? I mean, would you do that?
I don't know.
You've seen amazing things from Marshawn Lynch, but this year he's been banged up.
But you said goal line back. I don't think the Seattle would even use him as a goal line back.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay. Going back to the Super Bowl. But my game was the Bengals and Cardinals. I really liked that game, and I was surprised. Bengals lost another one. Cardinals are making a statement. I think they're the team to beat. I really do.
Yeah, you said that last week, and I got to start to agree with you. They're playing really good against really good teams. I think they're 8-2 now, something like that. They're winning games, and I think other than the Panthers, they're going to be the top seed in the NFC. They're probably going to be number 2, get a bye. They're going to be in line for a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Palmer's been doing really good. He started off the game with 2 interceptions. It really scared me. And then he threw for 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards. So.
Yeah, it was a good idea for you to bench him in fantasy football.
Yeah, and that got me the loss of fantasy
And I'm going to
football.
beat him this week. So
I think the Cardinals also got blessed with the resurgence of Larry Fitzgerald. He's having a really good comeback year. Also, John Brown is having an all-right year, coming out of his shell as a good receiver. Their defense with Tyrann Matthews, Patrick Peterson, and all of them are stepping up. I think the Cardinals are in line for a pretty good, like you said, deep playoff run.
So what about the Bengals? They tend to lose these primetime games, and when you get to the playoffs, they're all primetime games. Can they actually make a run this year? They're 0-4 last 4 years.
I really don't know, to be honest with you. I'm scared with them. If I had to pick right now, maybe I don't think they're going deep in the playoffs at all. Maybe win 1 game, if that. I don't see them going far, and they just fall apart in big games.
That was a couple weeks ago. You were picking them as one of the most complete teams in football, though. What happened to that?
That was a few weeks ago, and now they're.
It's an update league. I understand that, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're going to make a deep playoff run either, but I think they're a good team.
Well, they haven't been able to beat the teams who they would face in the playoffs. That's the thing that scares me.
It's a good point.
I think, the Bengals are starting to turn into the old Bengals, not being able to finish out the season, not being able to completely finish, basically. I don't think they're going to – I think they'll make it to the playoffs, but I think it's a 1-and-out again like every year.
They lost to the Texans. That's about all I have to say.
That's a good point. Prime time. I mean, they just can't handle the spotlight. So you want to talk about playoffs? you could just you could put it in pen. This team, number 1 seed out west right now. The Golden State Warriors are the best team in basketball. Is anybody disagreeing with that?
It's 15-0. You can't disagree with that. Steph
So
Curry.
good.
When are they going to lose?
This is a question I have for you guys. What team do you think it will take? Like, if you had to pick any team right now to beat the Warriors, who would you pick?
Probably a combination of the Cavaliers and Spurs.
Yeah, the Eastern All-Stars.
I'm just saying, one team. Who would you pick?
The All-Stars.
All-Stars.
All-Star.
I'd take the Cavs probably because the Cavs, I think when Kyrie gets healthy, they'll be able to take him.
I mean, Durant's coming back. I could see the Thunder maybe knocking them off with Westbrook having a good game with Durant.
They won 15 straight. I don't see anybody beating them 4 out of 7. I said that last year, and it kind of came through. They're so good. They just play
so
good
deep.
basketball. They're so good on both sides of the ball. Yeah, the Cavs are really good with LeBron. He's a freakish athlete, but I don't know. It's just they're such a good team all around, and it's not just 1 or 2 guys.
Although
that make these plays.
they do rely on Steph Curry. And
Yeah,
even though they double team him, wherever they do, they still can't stop him. So
But they
that's
have
the
other
scary
guys
part.
that can make plays too, and that's the scary part
Tyler
about
really
them as
wants
well.
to say something.
The
Hold
thing
on.
about last night's game, you said they rely on Steph Curry. He only had 19 points.
There you go. I mean, there's
Oh, yeah, there was.
they have a lot of pieces there that can.
They have Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green.
The Finals MVP from last season didn't even start for them.
Yeah, Iguodala.
And Iguodala. So
Yeah, I really like him too. He's just a big body, and I think he can man up with anyone.
are they gonna go undefeated?
No, that's
Let's be honest,
pushing it.
let's be honest. There's gonna be a game where they're gonna have to bench some players just because of fatigue and rest, and
No, that was a joke. I didn't think
I
they
see
actually
what you did on the
undefeated.
teleprompter there.
Anyway, we're going to move on to the 76ers now. They have as many losses as the Warriors have wins. Have not won a game yet. Is there a win in sight for this team?
they were up 20 points to Miami Heat, and they blew it. They blew it in the fourth quarter. Win a game. I don't think it's that hard. It is that hard against NBA teams, but you're an NBA team, just win it. Just win one
You
game.
almost feel sorry for them at this point.
I
They're
do.
so bad.
They're a young team, but who's their coach? Fire their coach, fire their GM, fire every single buddy in that offense.
I think they should just get rid of the whole organization and just start scratch. Take even their new draft picks, Jahlil Okafor, get rid of them.
Bad
Really?
idea. Don't do that.
Wow.
Bad
Just-
idea.
I feel like the Sixers are cursed. Whoever goes on the team is bound to do bad.
So what's going to happen first? Are the Warriors going to lose or the Sixers going to win?
The Sixers are gonna win before the Warriors lose.
No,
You
I
could
don't
just
think
trash them. You just said get rid of the
It
organization.
doesn't matter. They're gonna
it doesn't matter. It's okay. No. I think the Warriors. I think the 76ers. No, hold on.
Take your time.
76ers are going to win a game before the Warriors lose.
Exactly.
I think so too. I can't see anybody beating the Warriors right now. They're just so good.
It's not.
I mean,
fair.
eventually the 76ers are not going to blow a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, so you got to be prepared for that.
Alright.
So moving on from professional basketball down to Lacey Rec basketball, let me just say I was at this game, and Evan crossed up Tyler so bad. You literally,
How do you feel?
You
How do you
literally
feel?
could hear his ankle snap on the floor. Tyler was on the ground,
I
like,
did
crying.
not fall. You were not at the
The
game.
paramedics
I was at the game.
The paramedics came. It was
no,
bad.
none of that
It's
happened.
amazing that you're here today.
But whose team won?
Oh wow, good comeback. Okay, I'm
Whose
sorry.
team
Our
won?
team is really bad, and they rely on like 3 people. on my
Really
team.
bad. So our team's really bad. Yeah. Who came out the W? Who's 2-0? Who's
How many
0-2?
points you have? How many points you have?
Me?
Yeah,
A solid 3.
17 points. Okay.
Yo, how many assists? Ask me. Ask me how many assists.
Why do you know how many assists
7.
you have? That's my question. Why do you know? You wore a headband, Tyler. You had a headband on with an NBA logo on
That's
it.
enough of Lacey Rec basketball. We're going to
football.
go on to college football now. Ohio State got their first loss of the season to Michigan State recently. Do they still deserve to be in the top 4?
Well, I mean, every team is basically has one loss besides Iowa and Clemson, and I think Ohio State, they're still the defending national championship. They still only have one loss, yes, to Michigan State, but Michigan State is not a bad team in the first place. So I mean, it's not a loss is never good, but it's a quality loss. It's against a pretty good team. So I think not this week, but I feel like if they end out the year undefeated, they could be in the top 4.
Yeah, I think with this week, there was a Michigan State was ranked 9, so I think they're definitely going to drop out maybe to 6 or something like that, maybe 5, which I don't like that. They've beaten pretty good teams this year, but they've also have played not the hardest schedule, so it's up in the air. I mean, they've beaten teams by a lot who they really should be, and they've also had some close games against some good teams, so it's back and forth, but I think they should be out of it. But if they win out, that's the thing. I don't know if they should be in or out because there's other good teams who've won out.
Even if they win out, I don't think they should be in. They've played not that great against not that great teams, and that caught up with them playing a good team. They got beat. They haven't really beat anybody that's been that good, and there was finally their chance to prove it for them against a really good team,
With a backup quarterback in Michigan State starting.
and they didn't get it done. And just that concerns me, and they've been playing bad against bad teams. I I think you could definitely say that there are 4 teams that are better than them right now in college football. And I think that's what it's going to come down to, and the committee's going to put those 4 better teams in front of them.
I think the biggest problem with them was that their quarterback issue. I think that messed them all up. They didn't know who to start, and they've been flip-flopping a little bit. I think that really just kind of shook them a little bit.
And plus Ezekiel Elliott said it was all the play calling. I think their offense is in dismantles. They can't find an identity. They can't find a solid quarterback, like you said. They can't find what they want to do on offense, and that's hurted them this year.
This is literally my favorite part of the show. Tyler, who's going to win the national championship?
Alabama. I said that last week. I'm keeping it so I don't get anything.
What about you?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame sticking with it?
And you're sticking with Clemson,
Yeah,
obviously.
there's no reason to jump off of Clemson now.
Did you see their uniforms, though? They're like purple, and it was absolutely disgusting.
I don't care. They're undefeated.
Bad jersey selection.
I saw a lineman propose to his girlfriend. It was cute.
You saw that picture? Yeah,
it was cute.
It was a nice picture. It's probably all over Twitter if you want to look it up.
That's going to wrap it up for This Week in Sports. For Evan Olwani and Tyler Dabrowski, I'm Mike McClung. Have a fantastic day.